Hello everyone, and for this video I'm going to be taking a look at the 1/7 scale figure of Sakura from Cardcaptor Sakura. And this particular figure is the Angel Crown version made by the company Plum, which I have not actually got any figures from before, so this will be the first take on the company as well as the figure. So as you can see at the top of the box is covered in a really nice pattern of kind of a blue sky, pink fluffy cloud design, as well as some kind of gold filigree sort of vinery pattern going on throughout. And in the top left corner we have the Plum logo, as well as Cardcaptor Sakura in the other corner, and as you can see we have an oval shaped view window at the front, and over the top we have a nice gold crown with Sakura on it. So at the bottom of the box we continue with the design, and there is a yellow band going across it with the little clamp wings, and it says 1/7 scale Cardcaptor Sakura Angel Crown, and there is the Kodansha sticker of authenticity at the bottom right. And as you can see inside the box, a lot of that design continues that you see outside the box with the blue skies and the clouds and the gold vinery, and it looks really nice. On the side of the box, once again, we have that pattern continuing, as well as Sakura Kinomoto spelled out across the bottom. And it continues all the way to the top, where once again we have Plum and Cardcaptor Sakura. The other side of the box is exactly the same as the first side that I showed you, except for it says Angel Crown at the bottom. The bottom of the box is just mostly white, and the typical information and warnings that are found on figure boxes. At the top we have another nice size display window, except with the imagery of some of the puffy clouds cutting into it, and once again Plum and Cardcaptor Sakura. On the back of the box we finally have an actual picture of the figure, and she is encased in this sort of illustration of this egg-shaped dome that she is in. And of course Cardcaptor Sakura at the bottom, as well as Clamp and Shigatsu Tsuitachi Co. Limited. So without further ado, we'll take a look at this figure. So starting off, as you can see, Sakura actually does come with a base. I thought maybe she just would have been resting on the clouds that you see there in the same style that the Kotobukiya scale was. But she has a plain white disc base with some of that gold vinery and gold rim around it, and Sakura Cardcaptor Sakura, and the design continues all around the base. So in addition to the base, the figure comes resting on this set. These are actually two pieces of these clouds, and as you can see they are slightly shaded of white fading into pink in the creases, and they are nicely sculpted and it looks quite cool. So this is the first piece, and in the back is the second piece, and it snaps around the sort of bottom of the figure. So at the bottom of the figure we kind of have what appears to be Sakura's dress kind of going off into an egg and a feathered design. So it's more egg-shaped at the bottom, and it kind of goes off into these sort of looking wingtips on the sides. And as you can see, there is a nice sheen to the dress as well as the rest of the figure base. Her dress piece, as well as her stockings and her gloves, actually have this kind of pearlescent quality to them, which looks really nice. Gives that extra bit of added effect. She has these sort of yellow bloomer pieces on underneath, and they are quite poofy and nicely sculpted, as you can see. And I have to say, I really do like the detail in her shoes. She has, again, that shiny, almost patent leather finish to these shoes, and there is the metallic gold paints of the wing accessory at the tip of the shoes. She also has another metallic gold wing piece right underneath her collar, where it attaches to her little scarf accessory. And I really do like her pose with the way she is kind of curled up in mid-air like that. So in the back you get an idea of how much her bottom of her dress kind of poofs out, and also Sakura has a pair of those same designed angel wings crafted onto her back. And they are more of a matte finish, but there is, in addition to it being cream, there is tinges of yellow in there. I don't know if you can see, in kind of the creases of the swirl, as well as around the tips of the wings. Now onto the details of her face. As you can see, she has a cute, simple, and smiling expression. One thing I don't like about the face, however, is that the skin has a bit of a shiny finish, which I feel like it kind of cheapens the effect of a scale figure sometimes. And as you can see, her hair is once again a light brown, although not as light as the Kotobukiya scale figure was. And it is sculpted in several different pieces, and they even have her little bits of her bangs sticking out at the top, which is really cute. However, the sculpt, it does feel just quite rough and not really decently sanded out in some places. And of course she has her little sort of mini pigtail hairstyle going on in the back, and at the top of her head she has this beautiful gold crown accessory. So overall this figure is quite interesting. Once again, it is nice to have another Cardcaptor Sakura figure made out there of her in a different outfit, so kudos to Plum for going out there and doing a different character design and concept. And also the pose and everything is quite unique in a figure. I don't think we get many quite like this. And it just looks very lovely altogether. It's kind of soft and relaxing and sort of feels very dreamlike with the way she is floating in midair like that above the clouds. However, there are a few flaws here and there, particularly in the sculpt of the hair feeling rough, but I don't think you can necessarily see that on camera, so it really isn't an issue, and it's not as seeable to the naked eye. Everything else is kind of painted very nicely. It's not over the top. Now this figure was a touch more expensive than the Kotobukiya 1/7 scale that just came out, I think, a month or so prior to this one. So I feel like you probably got some more magnificence and bang for your buck with the Kotobukiya scale, so if you had to have one Cardcaptor Sakura scale figure, I would recommend that. However, for those out there that want something a little different and don't mind paying a little bit more, this isn't a bad option. I don't think she is a must-have, but nonetheless she is a cool figure to have in your collection. So until next time, thanks for watching.